you very much. Yes, still a desert, but a different one, and a different type of geomorphological features will be highlighted. Namib Sand Sea was one of the proposals that was submitted by the working party within the IAG, but it was also independently proposed by Professor Asfawasan Asrat, taking care of Africa, or part of Africa, so I'm the presenter, but the presentation is co-authored by Asfawasan and also our colleague from the IAG working group, Zbigniew Zwoliński. What's so special in the Namib Sand Sea? Here we just say that it's an outstanding example of geomorphological consequences of aeolian and fluvial dryland processes, and I think I will mostly emphasize the aeolian component, but to fully understand the aeolian component and the distribution pattern of the different dunes, we have to take into account the fluvial activity, even though it is very ephemeral in this part of the world. Where we are, the Namib Sand Sea is one of the southern hemisphere deserts, forming a relatively narrow but long strip of dryland along the coast, along the southwestern coast of Africa, and it is one of the hyper-arid areas globally, with the annual rainfall less than 50 millimeters in the most proximity to the coast, with many years without any single drop of rain. Within the state of Namibia, it is located in the southwestern part of the country. This is the geological context, and you see the very general map of Namibia, and the outcrops of the old rocks are running just like here. Somewhere there is a major geomorphic feature for the southern African continent, which is the Great Escarpment, which separates the coastal lowlands from the much more elevated interior. And the Namib Sand Sea, the desert, is located on that coastal side of the Great Escarpment, and the sediments of this Kalahari group, and they cover the old bedrock in this part of the desert. However, if we would go further north, we will still be within the Namib Desert, but a different type morphologically of a desert with rocky surfaces, gravel plains, inselbergs, and the like. So there is a very distinctive division of the Namib Desert as a whole into two parts, but we talk about the southern one. So Namibia's landscape, and you see the number 14 I'm talking about is just the Namib dunes, and the Great Escarpment is here. So this reinforces the point I was making just a minute ago. What's so special in the Namib Sand Sea? It is vast. It is very scenic, but scientifically, as this is the main criterion here, it's characterized by an amazing variety of dune types. If you go to textbooks of aeolian geomorphology and you follow the classifications of different dune types, you essentially find any of these within the Namib Sand Sea, and many of them rise to absolutely gigantic dimensions. The full appreciation of that variety was possible after the satellite imagery arrived. So this is the Landsat photograph of the northern part of the Namib Sand Sea, which was specifically proposed by us as the IUGS global geosite. So even if you are not a specialist in Aeolian geomorphology, you see that the dune pattern here is different from the dune pattern there, and it's different from the dune pattern somewhere here. So different lineaments, so different shapes we have. And this, of course, was shown in a much more concrete scientific way by people who were busy mapping the different types of dunes, and you see the very long list of these different variants, how they are spread within the desert. Most of the Namib Sand Sea is actually taken by complex linear dunes, which are just very long, extended ridges, continuing for tens, even more than 100 kilometers, just one ridge. But the Namib Sand Sea is also very famous for the red guys, these purple ones, which are the star dunes, which are known to be the highest dunes you can have on Earth. Different countries compete with one another who has the highest star dunes. I don't know, I'm not sure the competition is finally resolved, but certainly the Namib Sand Sea has one of the highest. The linear dunes very abruptly end at the northern edge of the Namib Sand Sea, which is also a fascinating geomorphic or topographic feature here. The channel of the ephemeral Kusep River makes this very sharp boundary. It flows very episodically, but apparently sufficiently frequent to evacuate all the sand which moves towards the north, towards the Atlantic Ocean. So the dunes do not cross the channel or the valley of the Kusep River, and what is to the north of the river are the gravel plains. So this is the boundary between the linear dune fields and the gravel plains over there. The star dunes are in the eastern part, and they whereas the linear dunes interact with the fluvial system, those star dunes interact with the fluvial system as well, but with the terminal fluvial systems when the rivers finish their life in the desert sands, forming playas, and they evaporating, and the star dunes occur around those playas. So you can have a snapshot of these different types. The Namib Sand Sea, in between the linear dunes, it also does have very minor yardangs, so you can compare with what you have just seen from Iran. But so they are, as such, they are not very spectacular, but they add to the diversity of the Aeolian landforms here. The scientific tradition, well, it cannot be very long, and as I said, it was only the advent of the satellite imagery that allowed the scientists to fully recognize the potential, the diversity, the beauty of the Namib Sand Sea. But since that time, it's very intensively researched, and most of this research is based on the Desert Research Station in Gobabeb, which is very conveniently located right at the margin of the Namib Sand Sea and the gravel plains, and there are plenty of publications helping us to understand the Namib Sand Sea, including some focused photographs like here. There are some, you have some relatively recent papers summarizing that research. So the dunes of the Namib Sand Sea are sort of a type locality for dune research globally. So summing up, the main arguments for the IUGS recognition are a nearly complete diversity of dune systems known globally is present within the Namib Sand Sea. They belong to some of the highest in the world. I'm not going to enter that competition, but it is worth emphasizing that the star dunes are more than 300 meters high and the linear dunes are more than 150 meters high, so they are very big features. It's one of the best studied areas in the world in terms of aeolian processes, and its scientific status has been confirmed some years ago by granting the World Heritage designation and the criterion number 8, emphasizing geoscience values, was an important part of that. So that's it. Thank you very much. Dziękuję.